Hi, beautiful Virgo. It's Mary Ellen, coming to you from Moonrise Cottage for your December 2017 Soul Tarot reading. I am very excited to be here with you. I have some really exciting messages coming out from Spirit because of the fact that we're moving into the days of the solstice. I'd like to share with you some of these images while I make the announcements for the channel, okay? So give me just a moment. I'm playing with my software, as you can tell. I would like to ask you, Spirit is sort of streaming through already, asking you to gaze into this image while I make the announcements, and welcome everybody, all right? So I'm just gonna toggle over. That is the beautiful dreamer. In the traditional tarot, it is aligned with the star card, but here in Soul Tarot, it's a much deeper meaning. So the request is just take up the energy of the image and allow yourself to just breathe that in and feel it in your heart chakra for just a moment or two, and then I'll dive in. So for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. I use the beautiful, Spirit saying, the sacred Celtic Wisdom Tarot, developed by Caitlin Matthews. It's a very profound deck. If you're new to the channel and you haven't seen these images, they're very different than traditional tarot cards. It's the way that I channel messages using the illustration. Spirit's correcting me already. Spirit's using the illustration so that I can channel the messages that are trying to come through for you. 2017 has been a year of great shift and change, a prophecy about the place into which we are moving as a group. And that's one of the reasons this image is coming. So if you haven't seen any of the prior videos, please go back a couple of months and watch the video so you'll understand the message in context with all that has been unfolding and building toward this moment in 2017. So for all my regular subscribers, hi, welcome back. It is great to be here with you in December. It's amazing to me that we have been together for almost a whole year. I've been astounded by your love and support and the progress and the shift and change that I've been visualizing and speaking about through the cards. So just a reminder, if there's anybody out there that wants a private reading or a consultation of any kind, or if you want to sign up for the live stream events, there will be one on the 9th. I'm going to do a special reading live for anyone who has signed up for the subscription service. All that information is on a tab just below this video. Scroll down a little bit. You'll see some things that YouTube puts there. And click on the words show more. A huge box of information is there. All the types of readings, the way to sign up for the live stream, my email's down at the bottom. There's a link for my PayPal so that you can make reservation payment. Lots of info. So if you have any questions, just click on the words show more and I'll look forward to hearing from you. Sometimes it takes me a day or two to get back to you because of the volume of email and requests and readings, and I'm making recordings, etc. So don't worry if you don't hear right back from me, okay? I will get to you. So Virgo, let's dive in. I'm a Virgo, for those of you that don't know, and I was really touched at the notation that Spirit wants to make for us this month as we move toward the days of the solstice. Having come through this beautiful transformation, coming into our power, coming through a beautiful, transformative initiation, period of growth and change throughout the year. So there are a couple of things that are streaming through. I'm going to switch back to the card. This beautiful card, the Dreamer, is here to solidify and deepen and build upon the message that came out while I was at the Passage Tombs in Ireland. So again, for those of you that don't know, I took a sacred journey and I ended up in the Passage Tombs. It's not the place that I expected to have my journey. I went with the intention of going to some of the sacred sites of feminine power that reside in the Boyne Valley in Ireland. And in fact, what happened was I ended up being guided, if you will, to go to the passage tombs. So I'm going to toggle over to the place in which your reading from the passage tomb at Douth came out. And I'd like you to see that in relationship to the illustration in The Beautiful Dreamer. Look at that. So those of you that know me know I get very choked up, and I'm really feeling an enormous amount of energy streaming into me, illuminating my heart, and back out to you through the messages that are meant to come for you in these moments. It's really, truly very profound that these things are connected in the ways that we, Spirit saying, in the way that we have been traveling together on the energetic pathway, and the way the messages meant to come for you from this place. So, as you can see, that beautiful tree is growing up out of the passage tomb at Douth. If you haven't seen the pictures, you can go and look. There is a video on the playlist about my journey. It's 13 minutes long. It's basically a slideshow. And you'll see all the pictures from all the passage tombs that I visited, and particularly the passage tomb at Douth. So go and check it out. There's a lot of information there for you in a visual representation according to Spirit. So when I got to Douth, a couple of things happened there, and one was my visitation with this beautiful tree. And I spent a couple of hours, and the readings came out for Virgo, for Sagittarius, for Gemini, from this incredible place. I climbed up the hill. This was about 3/4 of the way up to the top of the mound under which the passage tomb is buried. And this is the experience I was having at this beautiful place. And Spirit is just streaming through another message for you from this place. And, you know, there's something about this tree that has, Spirit saying, sacred vision. So my experience of this tree, let me toggle back for you, was that it was respirating out into the world the energy from within the passage tomb, because it is rooted so deeply, and it grows at a very steep angle. You can't really tell from this particular vantage point, but it's up high on the mound. And it, you know, when I walked around the corner, I was doing a little meditation, walking around the bottom of the mound and looking at the curbstones. And I came around the corner and I saw this incredible tree, and it was glowing, very much so. And it very much felt as if it was emanating not just energy, but information came streaming out of it. And I felt as though I could see its aura. It was very golden, if you will. And I climbed up the hill and sat under the tree and just had a meditation together with this, I call it a creature, with this beautiful creature. And from there, this is the message that wants to come out for you as you transition in these days leading up to your beautiful passage through the solstice that is coming. And Spirit is talking really, chattering a lot about the ability to manifest and the ability to bring forth that which you seek. So, you know, the Star card is about being in direct connection. In this deck, being in direct connection with the universe, with the sacred realm, with the place from which you are rooted, both here and across the mystical realm, the veil, Spirit calls it. in order to be able to receive these messages and go forward, emanating them outward from your being, because you are being, the destiny is, Spirit says, being rooted in both of these places in a way that's really, truly profound, so that the energy that's available from the sacred realm can inhabit your being and emanate from you. And that symbiotic relationship, if you will, is one that it's destiny, and it's also a decision coming in at this time from this place. So, Spirit, there's a lot of messaging coming through that has to do with this place. Those are the words that are coming. And I am finding that the beautiful messaging is filled with a certain type of energy that is hard to put into words. So forgive my stumbling. I'm trying to listen to the messages and speak the words at the same time, and sometimes it's a little bit of a challenge. I am getting a type of messaging that sometimes has nothing to do with human words. So I'm going to transition back, and I want to show you another picture of this tree in hopes it'll help you understand what it is that's coming through from Spirit. As you walk through this journey this month, that is the theme, the light that you carry in the way that you stand in your place, in this place, Spirit says. And so I'd like to show you the card that comes underneath the beautiful dreamer of growth and the way in which you stand, having come through your shift and change and your initiation, standing side by side, Spirit says. And there it is. That is the beautiful woman of battle. And if you notice her, she stands very firm in her place. She stands with her power in her hand. She stands with one hand open, ready to receive, and she looks forward. She is often the first one into the gap when there's shift and change. And what Spirit's saying, and it's pretty obvious given the alignment of these two things, that this is the image, the visualization of the Virgo energy set point as you walk through the days of December. And there she is, the beautiful goddess. She has the amulet that she received at her moment of initiation around her neck. And she stands here at the sacred passage tomb, preparing for the solstice. It's quite lovely. Spirit's talking about standing not just with the sacred tree, but like the tree. And you know what? I apologize. The light that's coming into the house right now is just really intense. And it's filling up the house. I actually had to close the curtains in order to be able to do the video. So I'm going to do my best to work with the energy that's coming through in a very intense way and deal with, no pun intended, the light that's streaming in, making it almost impossible. And actually, so Spirit's telling me to show you another photo. Let me just toggle back while I load up this photo for you. While I was in the passage tomb, some very intense things happened, really beautiful. And one of the images that came out of those passage tombs has to do with the moment of transition during the days of the solstice. And so Spirit's talking about this woman of battle, this image of the earth goddess, standing rooted in her place, and the representation of her spirit being joined with the sacred realm, able to see in both directions, able to, having been prepared for the next phase of growth and development. When I was in the passage tombs, there were moments when I had the ability to have the experience. I was given the experience, Spirit's correcting me. I was given the experience of seeing a representation of the moment of shift and change that comes at the solstice. And here's the picture. So I was in this passage tomb. I was told by one of the local folks, there's a passage tomb at Null. You can go and get a key. You have to go to somebody's house and get the key, and you can go in there. And most of the passage tombs, you cannot, there's no public access in many of them. So I was very excited. I went with a friend. We went in the passage tomb. It's very dark in there. I sat down, got ready to do the readings, and the door shut. And I had kind of propped it open because it was really dark. And I just didn't feel entirely comfortable, and I wanted to be able to see what I was doing. So the door shut. I did the readings. And then when I was done, the gust of wind came by and opened the door. And I looked up, and that's what I saw. And it was a moment of profound epiphany for me about, oh gosh, Spirit's talking now again about the tree of life and all the branches and all the ways in which we shift and grow and change, and the energy that comes to us and through us in all the ways that a tree takes in nutrition from the air and from the earth. And Virgo, that is the aspect in which you stand in these moments. So having been in this passage tomb and understanding in this moment of epiphany, when the solstice comes, it illuminates the entryway, the tunnel that leads into the central chamber, where there are beautiful altars, usually 3, in this round central chamber. So you enter, you come through the passage, you enter into the central chamber. There are altars, and in the days that these were utilized, there were sacred altar bowls. And the remains of the people who had passed away and been cremated were brought to the tomb, placed in the altar bowl, in order to wait for the solstice. And on the days, a couple days before and a couple days after, and including the 21st of December, when the sun arises, it is the only time of the year that illuminates the passageway. And it is those days in which we are able to transition on a soul level onto the next phase of our journey. And this is the message that Spirit is chattering about. So there's so much of a flow, I can hardly keep up with it. So this is the experience that you have been prepared for. And people talk about when they have a near-death experience, often what they speak about is moving through a tunnel toward a light and feeling the readiness and the willingness and the joy of crossing over. And so Virgo, as you go through December, these are the thoughts that Spirit wants to leave you with as you prepare and walk toward the days of the solstice. So going forward into this journey, these are the things that will transpire, and Spirit says accompany you on your human walk. Look at that. Just the images alone are intensely beautiful. So on the first part of your journey, as you experience your days of December, look at that. That is the beautiful, let me see if I can move the computer a little bit to see if the sun will, there we go, that's a little better. Okay, so that is the beautiful, another major arcana card, the Challenger of Will. And that is the earth god, Cernunnos. I would urge you to go and look online. I'm going to try to post something. You know what? It's interesting. This came out as the outcome card for the Capricorn reading. So the earth signs that are walking through intimately, Spirit says, pardon me, with the under the light, under the weight of Pluto. In these days, this notion of the sacred earth god who was in charge of the earthly realm. It's a beautiful, beautiful tale. And, over the time between these days, Spirit says, and the original days of the ancient lore, this God was demonized when the rise of Christianity came. Because of the horns, it was then attributed to something negative. And in the traditional tarot, this card would be aligned with the devil card. Here in Soul Tarot, it has nothing to do with that. It's about challenging your will to make a transition and come into your sacred place of knowing and power. And that's what this reading is talking about. It's about releasing your fears as an earth entity. A relic, Spirit is saying, of humanity. That's a sacred torque, a bracelet, or a necklace. And the beautiful representation of an earth serpent that shifts and changes and sheds its skin as it develops. Holding the power of both of those notions, one in each hand, deeply married to the sacred earth realm. And through this journey, that is the representation of your soul, coming through all of these experiences and doing the work of releasing your fears one at a time. It's interesting. Spirit's talking about the sacred stones and the releasing of fear, embracing and releasing, acknowledging and releasing. That's the process that you're going to be in as you walk through the days of December toward the solstice, the power of the sacred earth element. And Spirit's talking, let me toggle back one more time, because Spirit is talking about not only the challenger of will, bringing your will into its full power by releasing your fears, but also its alignment with the dreamer of growth. So that standing over the top and watching you as the woman of battle, pardon me, that type of sacred energy coming to a place where it is able to fully release its fears and activate your will to move forward and to be in this sacred realm. And the very next card, and actually, looking at that process, watching your process, is the beautiful goddess of knowledge that is the queen of knowledge. There she is. She sits suspended in the universe, watching your progress. And it's interesting the way Spirit chooses these cards. So that is a representation of the solstice. Do you see the sun? And the people joining hands, apparently in celebration. Images like the ones seen at the passage tombs, carved into the rocks. Okay, you know what? I'm going to show you another picture. Hang on a second. There's something else that a Spirit wanted you to see. If I can find it, hang on a second. And Spirit's talking about the universe. Look at that. Okay, these are the kinds of things that I found inside the passage tomb at Lokru, which is the seat of sacred feminine power of Queen Maeve. And so Spirit is chattering in my ear about all these things. The Null Passage Tomb. Okay, factually I don't know this, but if you see next to the Queen of Knowledge, there is the Warrior of Battle. Okay, Spirit's talking about the Null Passage Tomb. So there's a lot of messaging coming from a lot of these places. And Spirit's talking about Queen Maeve's chair. So I'm going to show it to you. This is the aspect, Spirit says, in which you stand. Look at that. That is at the sacred passage tomb at Lokru. It is the place where Queen Maeve had her reign, according to Spirit. And in the center of that, you see that there's a sacred swastika. It is an ancient symbol of growth and energy and shift and change. The Spirit's talking about the wheel of change. And so that, okay, so there's three messages coming at once. Let me try to parse them out, all right? And I'll show you the photos in a sense. So there's this. The sacred image of what it is to be married to the spirit realm and to be able to transition and live in both places at once, fully self-aware all right? And to be able to stand upon the earth in this way, wielding your ability and sitting in your place, as Queen Maeve did during her reign. So you can go to the internet and Google Queen Maeve chair and Queen Maeve swastika on the chair. The swastika image is a very ancient sacred symbol that has to do with the shift and change of spiritual energy. And these are the things that this message is just streaming through in a way like a fire hose, in a sense. Right? So, the other thing that Spirit's talking about is that tree that was in the place. And there it is. It was aglow with golden energy. There was so much energy coming out of it. And this is the place in which your reading came from the passageway at Doubt. So, as we go through the human walk, aligned with these aspects, in order to have this transition of releasing your fears and coming into the realm of the beautiful Queen of Knowledge, in order to take this transition and weave it, if you will, that's what she's doing. She's weaving your energy into the sacred tapestry that is being made with all of the different energy set points coming from each astrological sign as they shift and change and develop. She sits suspended in the universe, awaiting that which you send as you transition through the release of your fears and taking up your strength and your knowledge in a way that is very profound. And standing right next to that, we see this image of the warrior of battle. And the Spirit is telling me to remind you to look at the patterns that emerge as the cards come out and the alignment that they have with each other. So the warrior of battle stands just below the beautiful dreamer of growth. And in this image, given the days that we're in, the warrior of battle has come through, and Spirit's talking about the passageway at Null, the place where this image came out about the moment of solstice. And that is exactly what the passageway looks like. You see the image of the sun arising above the passage. And Spirit's talking about having come through the solstice, the moment when the sun rises, you stand in your harmonious self, aligned with the dreamer of growth in the sacred realm, the tip of your spear at the sacred spiral. And the Spirit's saying, and the opposite, meaning the sacred spiral at the tip of your spear, the place where your sacred personal power resides. As you walk toward the days of the solstice, this is the process you're going to be engaged in on a spirit level. It's very deep and profound. I'm going to toggle back again because I want you to see these things in context. The process of coming through the initiation that you did helped you and continues to assist you in releasing your fears and coming into the deepest aspect of yourself as an earth element with the sacred God of the earthly realm, helping you to come into your power by releasing your fear and challenging your will to go forward. It's a beautiful message. And then taking those activities and those intentions and those desires and immediately having them received, if you will, by the Queen of Knowledge to weave the strings of your destiny, to prepare you to meet the moment of the solstice, to come through that passage when the sun illuminates the earth and the passage tombs in the way that is meant to happen within you, Spirit says. All right, so I'm going to show you that image one more time. And I just want you to see this. Spirit says, please see this image and understand it in relationship to the cards that have come out thus far as you understand your human journey through the first days of December. That is your destination. There is a moment that is arriving. And when you arrive in that moment, and you come out of the passage tomb. On the other side, you transition in this way, the beautiful warrior of battle, able to provide that which is needed energetically to the world around you through your set point as an earth spirit, and able to manifest the shift and change and growth and the sacred knowledge here in this realm. And that is why you stand in this way in the very center of this reading. Having come through that journey, when the moment of solstice arrives and you take these steps, the sacred goddess of will is there to assist you. That is the goddess of victory. And she is the empowerer of will, and being accompanied and being supported by the transition that you come through with the challenger of will just sitting below her. It is a truly profound message about the shift and change that you as an initiate stand in the center of in these days. And Spirit's talking about the entirety of 2017 and the purpose of the things that you have dreamt. And that is why the dreamer of growth comes to illuminate the reading, so that you can understand your process as a sacred initiate and the strength and empowerment that comes to you by facing your fears. And it is that activity that weaves your energy set point in the most sacred of places and helps you transition through the passage tomb on the days of the solstice, emerging there with your will empowered and your ability, your sacred ability to move forward into the deepest place of your own strength emerges to assist you. And so on your spirit walk, as you have this human journey, these are the things that happen in the spirit realm, if you will, the place in which the dreamer of growth resides. So the purpose for you as a spirit being becomes illuminated through the manifestation of your sacred destiny. And here it is, Virgo. That is astoundingly beautiful. We see on the spirit realm 3 major arcana cards. And if you take into account the dreamer of growth and the empowerer of will, and you standing in the center of this with the beautiful goddess, the queen of knowledge, below you, supporting your shift and change, there is something really profound that is taking place. So let me transition back and we'll go through these cards together. This card at the bridge, that is the sacred goddess of victory, the empowerer of will, carrying your soul into a place of strength. And in the traditional tarot, this is the strength card. We've talked about it before. And the sacred hair, it's about following the energy in order to come into your place of strength, going forward. And there's also a notion of yin and yang that is happening here, because we see the beautiful warrior of battle, the last step, so to speak, on the human realm, transitioning immediately male and female energy, yin and yang, moving into and out of and through each other in this way. And building upon that on the spirit realm, the very first card is the last card in the major arcana of this deck. That is the perfecter of energy. Do you see that triple spiral at the root chakra and the sacred bowl into which souls were placed in the passage tombs? There was a bowl in each of the altars, and the remains were placed in the bowl, having been cremated and brought to the passage tomb. And resting there for a full year, that breastplate is about the 4 seasons. And do you see the swastika on the breastplate? That's the message a Spirit wants to bring to you about the intensity of the shift and change and the beauty of your journey in 2017. Coming to this place in the moments of the solstice. Okay, so this is about awakening at the crown chakra. And Spirit always talks about the pineal gland. And there are all the things that you have carried with you over the course of this journey. I'm sorry about the light. It's a very sunny day here, so I have plenty of electricity, and then it causes the challenge of so much light coming through the front windows because it is nearly December and the sun is very low in the sky. And I designed the house so that the windows fill with light to assist heating the house through passive energy gain. So there are some of the challenges. So, as I started doing the readings, I never imagined these challenges. And Spirit's saying, these are the things. Just the little things that we will learn to attend to and to grapple with as we perfect our energy going forward. Doing the things that we are meant to be doing as earth spirits. Perfecting our energy in all of these ways. So let's toggle back. As we perfect our energy, then there comes this moment of shift and change, movement. So Spirit's talking about the stillness of being in the passage tombs and the way in which 2017 represented that for us. Shift and change and growth, portals opening, eclipses coming, Lionsgate portal, the cycle of the full moon, which has been very powerful this year. All of these things moving us slowly through the seasons of the year, just as a soul would rest after its human adventure inside the passage tomb. And the solstice having arrived, we have been prepared for these days. And on that day, and in the days going forward, because of the shift and change, then we are able to come into the destiny of the mover of energy. This beautiful card that indicates, and Spirit always says, it's not about the horses. The horses are a representation of the power and ability to move forward in whichever way feels correct to you, but it's about the illumination that comes, at least, for this month. Spirit's talking about the illumination of the solstice and the way it activates us. That is the power that moves you forward. It has nothing to do with the horses. Spirit says that's an allegory, right? And there's the beautiful Sacred Mother in the background on the spirit realm, assisting and guiding you toward this place of new growth. It's a really beautiful, sequentially, Spirit saying, the sequential arrangement of the cards to help you understand the shift and change in the passage that you are experiencing as a spirit being. I love it. So let's toggle back and look at the last card. Another image of beautiful female sacred energy. And so, having perfected your energy and moving forward, the place that you rest is the beautiful lover of devotion who sits supported by the sacred dreamer of growth. And if you take a look at this card, and Spirit always says, this year in 2017, it has nothing to do with romantic love. It is about your set point and the clarity of your vision and the clarity of your personhood and your ability going forward. It's really quite beautiful. And the place in which your abundance resides, your devotion, comes streaming with an enormous amount of energy from the mystical realm, from your heart chakra, so that you can utilize your ability to manifest your devotion as an earth creature here on the planet. That is the journey that you are involved in, Virgo, as you come through these days of solstice. So let's toggle through. I'll show you the cards, and I'm going to load up the picture about the outcome And having, the cards having come out in the way they have, it's no surprise to me. But given the entirety of this message, it's a way of honoring you and acknowledging your sacred set point. So I'm going to toggle over, and I'll show you the card first, and then I want to show you in line, so to speak. Look at that, Virgo. There you are. Okay? That is the High Priestess. She holds the sacred spiral at her heart chakra, just like the lover of devotion. And so your full manifestation and your full cycle through this month of December is toward this end. And I'm gonna toggle back, but I want you to just pay attention to her set point. And there's the Sacred Mother again. Look at that. Isn't it intensely gorgeous? In Soul Tarot, this woman is the guardian of the gateway. And Spirit was chattering through me about the solstice and about the passage to Null and about the gateway and about the sacred tree and about the earth spirit, God. All of those notions, all of those images. Let me show you in relation to the cards about this progress. Oh, I'm sorry, I toggled into the wrong picture. There you go. There she is. Look at the center line of these cards. The intensity of the shift and change. And the way in which you stand in the center. The woman of battle. Firm in your place. Transitioning in all of these ways and moving into the manifestations of your power and ability as a sacred being. Perfecting your energy in all of these ways and releasing your fears. And Spirit's talking about the guardian of the gateway, the high priestess of the earthly realm, being in relationship to the dreamer card and to the beautiful warrior of battle who comes through and emerges from the passage at the time of the solstice. And those are the messages the Spirit wants to leave you with, to help you understand that it is your will, something that is attributed through human, Spirit's saying verbiage, human words about our various set points and the ideas that we assign to gender, okay? So we see the beautiful god Cernunnos, the earth deity, helping you release your fears. A male aspect, meeting female energy in order to weave your energy set point in your destiny into the fabric of the universe, because you are illuminated with the star card, the sacred dreamer of growth. And coming through that into another beautiful male aspect, the impetus, the will to go forward through the warrior of battle. And transitioning again in a yin-yang way into the sacred goddess of victory, who moves your energy forward with the movement of the sun in December. And that's what the rabbit is about. Spirit's talking about it in this particular month that we're in. Following the energy pathway, following the movement of the energy to help you understand and illuminate your sacred pathway as you go forward and perfect your energy in order to move into the deepest place of devotion and manifest the vision of that here on earth. It's a beautiful message. And coming fully into your development, the final stage of your movement, if you will, in 2017, is into the sacred realm of the High Priestess. And you know, Virgo, in a sense, the center line with all of this beautiful female set point in terms of sacred movement and knowledge. being able to see both sides across the veil and rooted firmly here on the earth as a deity, as an entity, Spirit says, coming firmly in to the growth point that was intended for you in 2017. The ability to stand at the gateway and help souls move back and forth simply by providing the beauty of your energy as you walk through your days and stand in your place. And Spirit's talking about, returning your your awareness to the very center card, the Woman of Battle, and to understand that you are a high priestess when it comes to the way you wield all these different types of energy as you walk across this earth, assisting the sacred realm and bringing forth what is meant to come in the days of 2018. So Virgo, gosh, that felt like a wild ride. There was so much coming through. I hope I did it justice. And I thank you for being here with me today, and for all of you that have been following along. Thanks so much. Your love and encouragement has meant a lot to me as I've stepped onto this journey. I'm wishing you a wonderful solstice, a beautiful holiday season. I'll look forward to seeing you in January, and I hope you'll join me on the 9th of December through the live stream that's going to come about this topic. I'm going to do a special reading live about the solstice itself, because as a reader, I see how all the signs are shifting and changing and preparing for this moment. So I'd like to take some time to acknowledge that and just ask the spirit realm, what would you like us to know? So I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to leave you with the cards. And thank you again. I'll see you in January.